Hey everyone, this is a live video originally, but recorded version will be up. Yada yada yada. Hey James Best, what's up? Stretch Nuts, what's up? John Capone, Larry Fisher, Siraj, McGee Films, what's up? Hazelin, what's up? You're cleared. No drama here, thank God. Yep, Trucker Steven, PA. Ron, how's it going? Mr. Burger. Jenny Entes, how's it going from Atlanta, Georgia? Burger's in the house. That's kind of rare. Happy Kevin and Ollie. Happy Travel Loco driver in the house. Frank Road Pro. Did you listen to Trucker Joke? Nailed its ass. South Mountain J. John Capone, what's happening with Travel Loco? You guys want to talk about that for a second? Hey David Boggs, no update today. Although I've been listening to the new Cannibal Corpse, it is awesome. Awesome. Clyde Garland. Thomas Wilson, what's up? Cooking on the grill, have an ice cold Bud Light, want one? For cool. No, there ain't no drama here. You know, here's the thing with the Travel Loco thing, okay? Travel Loco's like any other company. You got people that have not done well, and you have people that have done well. And Kevin and Ollie's in the house. You know, he's in here, and he's doing well. You know, the thing with Travel Loco, though, is when you hire YouTubers, you know, the things are going to happen. And, you know, so my only opinion of Travel Loco is, you know, there's a lot of negativity. I'll get to that in a second, Steve. There's a lot of negativity surrounding Travel Loco, right? Can we all agree on that? You go on some of the Snyder Facebook groups, and they've got a bad rep there. It's kind of like, you know, let's take a look at Swift, you know, or even Snyder, for example. David Boggs, I'll get to that comment too. If you have something that has so much negative energy, then only negative things can come of it. So there has to be some positive stuff that has to come out, whether it be through YouTube, Facebook, and there's nothing being done. You know, Ike brought up a good point in his video. Why does one person have to be the spokesperson of Travel Loco? Why can't like all of them do something positive for the company? Kevin and Ollie, he's got a good outlook. He's a good positive person. I've met him personally. We chatted, we hung out, we talked on the phone. He's got a cool dog, and you know, he's an example of attracting positive energy. And energy is a huge thing, people. If you're, you know, it's like the video I said, you know, go back to my videos. There's a video about the most important thing in trucking is up here, is you. And positive energy is what's needed out here. The e-logs and the YouTube drama and the hours of service, and you know, we're seeing the best rates we have seen in 3 years, and nobody's focusing on that except for Jeffrey Like. You know, he's making hand over fist. Kevin and Ollie has talked about it too. So let's go back to these comments, guys, because there's a lot of good comments here I was seeing. So was said that they wouldn't get settlement till lease agreement was signed. Bandit, yep. I don't know the details of that, but I don't know what the legal ramifications are of that. I'm not a lawyer, and Kevin mentioned in Coach's Speed that he hasn't seen anything like that. Kevin says doing a 34 somewhere between Cleveland and Columbus, waiting for Monday. Clyde's in Peculiar, Missouri. I'm not far from you. No travel like heck no, drama-free zone here, says Frank Road Pro. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Brian, what's up? Trucker Steve wants Burger to bring back Sandman Dan. Well, yeah, I've talked to Burger about that one. Nailed It says Traveloco is good. Recant. I have new inside information. The Trucker Joke has new info. Thomas Wilson, where are you at tonight? I'm somewhere in Kansas on 70. David Boggs, anyone notice a lot of short hauls not delivering the same day? Yes, David. I think I've mentioned it in the past. If you're talking about the Big Orange world, I think that they're saving a lot of the regional short hauls for the company guys. Now, this is just speculation. This is just what I've noticed. But I noticed that there's more money on the 700 and 800 mile runs. That's what I'm under now. Whereas the short haul stuff might be good money, but if you look at it as a day's wage, it's not that great. And I think they're trying to push a lot of people to run more outside of their regions. I could be wrong. It could be the nature of the freight, but also depends on the area. The short haul stuff from Pennsylvania on up is paying really good. The stuff going from PA to Ohio to Illinois is not paying that great. And I do okay because coming out of Ohio, coming to Missouri, Kansas, or Arkansas, no one likes to do that, but I live in this area, so it's easy for me to do. And I could deal with the lower rate per day, so the open window appointments are more attractive to me because I don't have that high payment I got to make every week. Kaislin says, my opinion is I don't trust them. They have no terminal, etc. The owner has a habit of pump and dump. Again, that's that negative energy, Kaislin. I personally, I brought up a point. Someone asked him, why didn't you do more research? Why did you take Will at his word on what Traveloka was like? And he replied, well, that's difficult because there wasn't a whole bunch of information out there. That's the problem with smaller companies is that, if I want to find out something about Landstar or Snyder or, Swift or whatever, that information's out there. But for a small company like that, it's kind of hard. So, you go by word of mouth and what other drivers tell you. And now I will say this, with the history that Will and Matt have had, especially Matt, with the companies he's worked for in the short periods of time, you would have to be a little bit cautious about anything positive said about the company. And I'm not going to say anything else because, like I said, I know people that are doing well at Traveloco and I know people that are not doing well at Traveloco. And again, I think it's all up here. Kevin and Ollie's obviously doing well. And he was over here Snyder. And, it's an unfortunate situation what happened to Ike and what happened to Trucker's coach. But, but at least they're doing something about it. But again, that adds the energy. So, But Thomas Wilson says he only trusts Jeffrey Light. That's a good person to trust. Nailed It says the coach is a joke even more than Traveloco. Thomas Wilson, and you. Oh, okay. Well, cool. I'm glad you trust me. Dan, what's up? Dan Schmidt, what's in the house? Daniel Adami, what's up? Kevin says you have negativity coming from sources who, A, who haven't been there, or B, got their panties in a wad for some reason. Again, Kevin, take everything with a grain of salt. I mentioned, somebody asked me about companies that self-dispatch this morning, my coffee thing with Pale Rider, and I mentioned Traveloco. Just, here's the thing. If you're thinking about going to Traveloco, talk to other drivers. Talk to a ton of drivers. And they're out there now. They're all popping up. They either pop up in Ike's feed, or they pop up in Will's feed, or they pop up in Coach's feed. And you can PM them through YouTube or Google Plus, and see if you can get a copy of the lease agreement and have OI to read it for you. That's a service that they offer. And if it's something that you don't like, then you don't sign. Kevin Indiana Jack Kaislin says Kevin and Indiana Jack should get together and make a recruitment video for them. Kaislin, I've been telling Eric Cornelius that for months. And I told him he needs to hire Tex Crowley and do some positive videos. Snyder's got recruiting videos. Landstar's got recruiting videos. They have their own channels. And that's a problem. If Indiana Jack seems like a cool dude. I know Kevin is. And Kevin's an example of a success story. So Kevin says, Ike not getting paid sucks, admittedly. Yeah, see, that happens. That is rampant in this entire industry. I was really surprised when I started getting checks from Landstar on my escrow, on parts of the permits that were prorated, on some insurance that was prorated. Hell, I made more money 2 months after I left Landstar than I did the last month I was at Landstar. They were really good about paying me. And then I've only been with one company besides Landstar and Snyder, so as a company driver. And they never took money from me. But, you had to chase them for detention sometimes. You had to chase them for layover sometimes. And I've heard horror stories of, look what happened with Aero Trucking a few years ago, right at Christmas time. They shut off everybody's fuel cards and told them to turn their truck into the nearest Freightliner dealership. And the industry stepped up to try to, help out. And it's kind of opened everybody's eyes of what you need to be careful with. So if Ike's not getting paid, that's a bad deal, I admit. And, hopefully it's just a mix-up. I don't want to do recruitment videos. I just want to be me, says Kevin and Ollie. I don't blame you, because here's the thing. Let's say you do a recruitment, Kevin. You do a recruitment video, and things go south for some reason or another. Well, now you look like a jackwagon because, you're sitting there, oh, Traveloco's great. And then, 2 months later, you're like, screw them, So that's the problem with YouTubers doing recruiting videos, is that if you do any kind of job hopping, it looks bad. If you've been at a company for 15 years, yeah, obviously you're going to talk good about them. Jeffrey Light did kind of a different approach. He didn't really do recruitment videos. He just told us about his time at Snyder and how he ran the program and how you could be successful over here. And he still talks about that today, even though he's not here. Let's see. Nailed it. The trucker's joke is like a light switch. He flips on and off depending on his mood. He needs more VA medical help. Nailed it. Is not a fan of Trucker's Coach. Dan Smith, hey burger. Ron says, I wouldn't go nowhere. Little Mutt or Little Guy suggest every company they have been say it's the best company ever. Exactly what I was saying, Ron. And Kevin says, I did not get that text. I get fleet texts just about daily. I did not get that text. There's no telling what's going on, Kevin. I mean, I could tell certain people were not happy at Traveloco. I could tell that, I had people approaching me privately on Instant Messenger on Facebook, that they weren't, their opinions of different situations. And I have no intention to go over there, because, I'm doing all right here. So, Ron, RST is actually a good company, though. Kaislin says. Well, see, that's the thing. RST, let's talk about that for a second. Somebody asked me if I knew anything about them. I know nothing about them. I know Trucker Woody works there, and I know that Matt works there now. I know they work on salary, and I know they pull prime freight, prime trucking, okay? And I know they pay salary, which could be an advantage, could be a disadvantage, depending on how you look at it, depending on how they run you. That's it. That's all I know about them. And I think a lot of the flack that they're getting is because, well, even before Matt was signed on to RST, or not signed on, but hired by RST, there were people that don't like Woody. And I think that there was like Will, he did a video comparing Traveloco, Bellaflor, and RST. And I think it was bogus because it seemed like a personal vendetta just go against Woody. And I have no idea why they hate Woody. I have no idea. I met Woody at the Joplin Truck Show. We said 2 words to each other, and that was it. I have no opinion of the guy. I like some of his videos. I've mentioned a few things on his live feeds. I think it's cool that he has a cat in the truck. But beyond that, he said something really good about the eclipse and about the hours of service. He had a really good video about that was perfect. But beyond that, I don't know why he gets a lot of the flack that he does. Clyde said he just left Kansas about an hour or so ago. Well, I believe it. All I don't like is new food. Way too many bathroom breaks for my co-pilot. Oh, that sucks. All right. I see Landstar has some good rates now, says John Capone. Yeah, because Landstar, a lot of Landstar's freight is spot market. And spot market is booming right now. I know a couple of people that are doing really well over there right now. But come January, we'll see what happens. Larry Fisher, I agree with you. David Box says Ohio base. Okay, that's a good area, but yeah, I've been successful doing these 700-800 mile runs. Last week I did a bunch of stuff from Oklahoma and Missouri back. PA to PA is good too, says McGee Films. I will agree with you. Frank says, yeah, positive energy is great as far as YouTube channels is like watching a train wreck. Pretty cool to watch, but you sure don't want to be in the wreck yourself. That's exactly my approach to YouTube. I don't take sides. And even if I do take sides, I'm not going to tell you guys my opinion, because why? All it does is add negative energy. If you hate Ike, and I say I'm on Ike's side, everybody's like, "Oh, Steve, you're part of the drama," and same vice versa. If I say that, I'm still subscribed to Will. Oh, you're supporting a cheater. It's like this ball of negativity, and I get it. And there are a lot of things. I have personal opinions. Pale Rider and Berger and I have all talked about it. And I have personal opinions of the situation. And, and that's it. If you guys were in Ike Speed, I was trying to change the subject by talking about Striper's new bass player, but no one would bite. UConn mentioned it, but Ike was, Ike was in a different state of mind. So, BLR, what's up? TC always has inside information. Walmart inside info, Traveloco inside secret info. He blows off and recants the info 2 days later. His Walmart information has been kind of true. Nailed it, because number one, his brother still works there, but number two, I've heard from other Walmart drivers of some of the changes that they were making. So Coach actually has it on that one. But, you know, like a while back, he did a thing about Landstar versus Traveloco, and there was a couple of things that I did not agree with, knowing that I'm from Landstar. So, but that's old news, and I've been in Truckers Coaches chats, and I've been civil, and I've asked them honest questions. So it's not worth it, you know, it's not. I try not to add to the negativity, man. I just don't. I mean, I try not to. Every now and then I fail. Kevin says I need to land some good hauls before Wednesday morning. Well, you're in the right spot to do it, Kevin, Ohio. Battleborn says, does the Big Orange have refresher training? I haven't drove in over 10 years. I don't know. Most companies do. Like, they might require you to go out with the trainer for, you know, so many weeks. All companies usually have that because of insurance reasons, for being out of the loop for that long. Battleborn, where are you out of? Pale Rider TV, I'm here now, all is well. Good deal. James Best says yes. And James, okay, everybody look at the other trucker, James Best. He just went through orientation. He went from the company Snyder side to the IC side as a Snyder Finance customer lease operator. And he's been doing some videos about his experience during orientation and what he's going through as a new driver. So he has some good Snyder information, probably better Snyder information than I do, because my situation is different. I was never on the company side, so I don't know a lot of the company policies, and I don't have a Snyder Finance truck. Steve Berger says, everyone with the pumpkin has a certain way they like to run. You find your groove and what works for you within what loads are available. And then you got to change it up, Berger. I will add to that. You got to change it up sometimes, and it, you know, that learning process takes 6 to 8 months. David Bach says, look around Dayton, one going to Alucha, paying almost $1,500. Yep. Alachua or whatever that's Florida, right? Everybody's happy with... Did you guys like Pale Rider and I's video? Did you guys like that? The other trucker, James Best. Okay. Kevin and Ollie. Perhaps... Oops, Swift doesn't hit me. Kevin and Ollie says, perhaps it's the person at the company doing the job, not the company they are at. Just food for thought. Kaislin says, I've seen people do good at a lot of different companies. It's all on the driver at 90% of the time. That is correct. Daniel says, I can't go to Snyder for another 3.5 years. Well, you got something on your record there, Daniel? Sun Chaser, what's up? Ron says, sorry, little guy quits using his family as an excuse twice and then comes back out on the road. Ron, you know, I'll address that. Think of reality TV. Okay, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And I know that from experience because I tried out for a reality show. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I know some of you know that, but not all of you. And so there's no telling what happened behind the scenes. Now, there's a lot of drivers out here that try to quit. And it's hard because it's hard to go back to a 9-to-5, sitting in an office or sitting in a factory type job and making half the money that you did before. Even if you go to like day cab driving job, you know, if you're an owner operator, or even as a company driver, and you're making an average of, say, $1,000 a week, you know, it's hard to go to, you know, a job that pays, you know, $15 an hour. Or if you're an owner operator, you know, I can make more in one load than some guys make all week. So I don't fault him for that, but see, that's the problem with being a public person such as Matt, is that your life is public. You know, for example, let's say I leave Snyder tomorrow and I say all these bad things about Snyder, then now my word's not going to be any good, because all the good stuff I've said, you guys are going to be like, well, were you lying then? What was really going on? And that's the problem with this Traveloco thing. Everybody was hot and heavy about all the recruiting, and now all of a sudden you're hearing the opposite stuff. And it's that double-edged sword. Being in the public eye, you know, all these guys are mentioning their kids and their phone numbers, and when you put yourself out there publicly, it's like selling your soul a little bit, because, you know, now you're under a microscope. If I was to quit Snyder tomorrow, you guys would be all like, well, why'd you quit, Steve? What's going on? What happened? You know, and that's the reality of the situation. So there's no telling what Matt was going through. There's no telling what was said behind the camera when the camera's off. We don't know what's going on at home. You know, maybe his wife was like, hey, I'd rather you have a paycheck, and gave him her blessing. And that's an important aspect too. You got to have good family support to be out here. Jenny asked, does Snyder have flatbed? Yes. They are in certain areas. I know that Snyder has flatbed trucks out of the Dallas OC. They're all company drivers, and they mainly run certain accounts. In other words, they're not, you know, picking up general freight on the flatbeds. Kevin says you have to be ready to work here. There's a learning curve. If you're doing a lease, you got to run a couple weeks at least before you go home. See, Kevin's got the right attitude. Nailed it says, TC Coach is always the first one to beat on the bandwagon. He goes live and rants, but then recants his live feed a couple of days later. That makes New Jarhead Trucking seem like a good business. Again, that's part of that public eye thing. You have to be careful with what you say. And we all know the history between Truckers Coach and Traveloco. At first he was against him, and that created this little war, and then he ended up signing on with them, and he was comparing them to every other company, and then again, you know, and then he stopped. And see, that's the thing, man, when all these guys, you know, Ike mentioned this too, when all these guys stopped promoting Traveloco as much as they were, I knew something was up. Because they just stopped all of a sudden. Steve Berger says, Snyder does not have flatbed that I know of, but I have seen Snyder company trucks pulling Conestoga trailers once in a blue moon. Well, Steve Berger, that's because you never go to Texas. The Dallas yard is full of flatbeds. Daniel can't leave until he gets a steak dinner. Kevin and Ollie says, Truckers Coach is a bandwagon, nailed it. He will flip-flop in a few days, happens every time he opens his mouth. And I saw Kevin in there trying to defend his time at Traveloco in Coach's feed. Daniel says, only if I can find something better, or if I can find me a great local job, that's about it, Ron says. Daniel, the problem that you would have, besides whatever issue you have about Snyder, is that your truck's probably too old to come over here. You have to have a 2010 or newer to come over here. I hope it is a mix-up too, says Kevin and Ollie. I've seen a few Snyder trucks pull flatbed here in Texas. See? Yes, he does. Kevin and Ollie says, nailed it. Great way to start a new business. What is the best health insurance to get? I have no idea, Ron. My insurance is through my wife's employment, and she's employed for a hospital. So she's been at this company for 20 plus years. And so the last health insurance I had was about 17 years ago, and I don't even think it exists anymore. Daniel said he's not a fan of Trucker's Coach either. And, you know, and guys, I don't want to turn this into a Trucker's Coach bashing session because he's done nothing wrong. He's kind of like trying to team with Ike on, you know, and looking out for, you know, Ike Stevens, which is fine. But just remember, a month ago, those guys were at each other's throats. 2 months ago, those guys were making fun of each other. So that's the problem with the YouTube stuff, man. A lot of people aren't taking us YouTubers seriously because of the back and forth kind of stuff. And let me explain something to you guys. I'm not the smartest candle in the wind here, okay? But when the 73 Lounge was first announced for the Great American Truck Show, you can ask Pale Rider, you can ask Berger, you can ask Jeffrey Light. I said it was going to go sour. It was going to create this ball of negative energy. And guess what? I was right. I told you so. I just kind of kept it to myself because I didn't want to look like I was against the 73 Lounge. Now remember, I was at the 73 Lounge. I hung out with all those guys. I talked to Mark State, Gary Compton, Will, Matt, Ike, Pale Rider, Tex Crowley, Carolina Ghost, Big Yeti, Big Rich. All these people were there. And I was just the guy taking a rest because I bought bad shoes on the couches. And, you know, and at that time it seemed okay. But what happened a week later? What happened 2 weeks later? It just got worse and worse and worse. And within a month of the 73 Lounge announcement, you had Thor getting on there and saying, "Oh, I'm not showing up because of this and this and this," and you know, and then everybody was telling Matt that he shouldn't come. And it was like, you know, it was turning south pretty quickly, and I knew it was going to happen because there's always this negative energy with these people, and there are people that gave me thumbs down on my videos that had to do with GATS, probably because I was associating myself with these people. And the reality is, it was a good place to kind of hang out and kind of a centralized location. Hey, Pale Rider, where are you going to be at now? Okay, we'll be at 73 Lounge. And they had good prizes at the DPF regeneration booth, so, you know, I tried my hand at those. And, you know, and it was good supporting the charity. That was the other thing. It was all about a charity, but unfortunately the charity kind of got forgotten about. What was the last time any of these YouTubers talked about Truckers Final Mile? You know, Ike mentioned it in his live feed tonight that he did a couple hours ago, but that's it. No one's mentioned them again. Nothing. Yeah, they're still out there. They still need money. So that's the problem. You know, whatever happened with DPF regeneration and Will and all the stuff, man, it's just come down because there's this negative energy. And that's the results of it. And I knew this would be a topic of discussion. Jenny says, thank you for the number. I don't like it here at Melton. Jenny, where are you based out of? Because if I know where, if you're, just answer that question and I can tell you about a good company. Arturo Williams, I've got to say I love your honesty and all the help you put out there about Snyder, but I watched your numbers video and I have to be honest, your numbers kind of scare me. I appreciate you doing it. that's why I do that, Mr. Arturo. My numbers are not that impressive when it comes to what the Traveloka guys are making, what Jeffrey Likes making. And there are Snyder Finance guys that are making way more money than me. There are Snyder guys that are making better money than me. But I'm getting what I need, and I'm getting consistent money, and I'm not running, 3,500 miles a week. Go to Kristen Trucker, go to his channel. He's putting up his numbers, and that's a more realistic number. But he lives in the Southeast. The Southeast, the rates aren't as great. And he tries to be home every week. Steve Berger, he's never really shared his numbers, but I know that they've been pretty decent, and he had a Snyder Finance truck. A lot of guys won't share their numbers because it opens that can of worms, Mr. Williams. So I'm not the kind of guy who's going to sit there and say, oh, dude, I clear $3,000 a week. I'm not going to do that, because that's not true. I had people mad at me at Landstar because they came over to Landstar based on my videos, even though I had never said, hey, come to Landstar. I never said that. Not one time did I say that in my videos. And then they come over and they're like, dude, the rates suck here. What the hell? And I'm like, sorry. I didn't tell you to come over here. And I still say that. Snyder's a good spot to get your feet wet in the owner-operator world. But see, if you're it all depends on your situation. There are situations in my personal life that allow me to have a little bit more, freedom, a little bit more flexibility. And I've always said that to you guys. My situation is not your typical Snyder situation. So that's why I tell you about these other channels, because, like I said, Christian Trucker, if you live in the Southeast, he's a good one to watch. He puts up his numbers and he's honest about it. So, Pale Rider's drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Pale Rider, I didn't make it to that travel center. I'm at the one with the McDonald's, so I'm not getting no Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow morning. Jarhead Kentucky Pickers on PBS is next. Frank says, come on, Steve, when was the last time you went to a company's YouTube channel to get a feel for any company? It's all happy BS. Best recruiters are actual drivers, not through the recruiting department. Frank Rowe Pro, I agree with you 100%. That's why I had friends of mine tell me I needed to call Jeffrey when I was struggling at Landstar. And I did not trust Jeffrey at first because I thought he was just like, oh, come to Snyder, it's awesome here. And then once I talked to him, I realized that wasn't the case. However, I talked to other drivers at Snyder, and I got on Periscope watching other Snyder drivers and how they were doing. So I believed what Jeff was telling me, but I had to hear it from different sources. I had to hear it from people that didn't know Jeff. I had to hear it from drivers in different areas. So Daniel just texted me and said that I'm way behind on my comments. Kevin says I won't do recruiter videos. I will do videos telling how I am doing, which I need to do, which is, it has been stressful the last couple of weeks because of the repairs, but Loco has made sure I'm okay. There you go. Ron says, sorry, Snorlax, I'm on a delay. Jenny, did you ever answer me? I'm not that far down. Ron says he wants to go to Pale Rider Transporter like trucking. Thomas says Pale Rider cooking steak and chicken on the grill. Okay, you already talked about that. Mark State works at RST? I thought he was at Prime. Kaislin. Now we're arguing about Bud Light. Big Rich, what's up? Kevin says, I did well at Snyder, both as a company driver and as a lease op. Not a bad place to be. I just saw an opportunity and took it. Did not burn the bridge behind me, though. Kevin, I hope you get Ike's truck, because that seems to be a nice truck. Neil says, I look tired. I am tired. I drove 600 miles today. John McCulloch, what do you think about used truck sales after the new year? It's probably going to be pretty good. The used market is definitely better now than it was when I first got my first truck. I definitely got more truck for the same money that I paid the Peterbilt for the Peterbilt. Big Rich is gonna, he's got his truck. Dan says, how is Snyder's used truck financing, not lease purchase? Dan, I don't know much about it. I'm trying to remember his name. There's a guy named Adam. And if he's watching, I hope he pops in here. He bought one of the Snyder company trucks. The financing I've heard negative things about, as far as like, it's a different finance company. It's not Snyder Finance. So just proceed with caution. You get used truck. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call. Alright. May is a good time to start, Dan. Yeah, and here's the thing. There might be, the thing with Snyder Finance is every deal is different. And, so you have 3 of the same truck and everybody's going to get a different deal. So, just proceed with caution. But if you got good credit, you might be able to get something. Nailed it. Not much credibility from a coach. Nevada, Battleborn. Okay, I can't help you then, because if you were around the 5-state region of Missouri, I would tell you go to Transland. They've got a good flatbed division. But Nevada, they very rarely go out there, I think. So that wouldn't do you any good. Yeah, I am behind on the comments. Need 14 more to get to 200. I invite those not subscribed to come and join my dog and I, our boring adventures. Kevin's got a positive channel. He just recently got a GoPro mounting thing for his dog, and it's kind of cool. No, Bandit, my truck is not an SFI truck. Okay, I'm going all the way to you. Gosh, guys. Holy crap. Okay, I'll go backwards here. Okay. I know, James. You tried to call me during my live feed. I will call you back after the live feed. Is it urgent? You can text me. I'll text you back. Kevin says, I would take Ike's truck, but they don't want to do that, so that's okay. Okay. Oh, he paid off his truck. Talking about Mark State and went there to RSD. Okay, I stopped following Mark State. Nothing against him personally, but he didn't really have any information that, that mattered to me. So, Frank Road Pro, yes. Replace ice road truckers with YouTube truckers. Yeah. For some, the grass is always greener. Yeah. I'm ready any day to turn on Discovery Channel and watch a new real-life trucking show, and I think that there's an end goal for a lot of this drama YouTube channels. Here's the problem with trucking reality shows. Kaislin says, I'm still trying to decide what company to go with. LOL, there's somebody out there. That's a hard thing, man. I got lucky because there was a good company where I lived. And they were a good starter company, and when I went through the ropes and trying to learn and baptism by fire and the whole 9 yards, they were there, they were supportive, and I did well there. Every dispatcher except for the last one, I got along great with them, and I was truly blessed. But the year before I got my CDL, I looked at a lot of, back then you didn't have a whole lot of YouTubers. You had Truckers Report and the message boards and the blogs. Remember blogs? So So you just gotta, whatever, you know, it's a personal fit, you know. Kevin says Ollie cam will be better when I get him his own cam coming soon. Kaislin says I started with US Express. I did okay there, but this dispatch was a tool. Went to Covenant and loved it there, but left because I didn't want to do Teams anymore. YouTube is why I got into trucking, says James Bess. Trucker 47 was the first YouTube trucker I ever watched. But here's the thing with reality shows. I tried out for a reality show about 4 or 5 years ago. It was weird. I got this email from this chick in England, okay? And I thought it was just whatever, you know. And she, you know, and I talked to other friends, and she had emailed them too. So I figured it was some kind of spam just hitting anybody that had a YouTube channel. And one day I get a call from England. And she's like, hey, you know, we're interested in sending someone down to kind of do like a preliminary kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. Well, one night I get a call. And they're like, hey, we're ready to fly someone out to film you. I'm like, really? So I called my dispatcher, said, hey, I was delivering in St. Louis. I said, can you just wait till the next day to get me a load? Okay. Talked to safety. They were cool with it. Cool. So they flew this guy from Canada to videotape me. Now, mind you, I was driving a T660. I had this big camera. I could barely see out of this window. And we're driving around St. Louis, and he's got his camera on me. Meanwhile, there's cars cutting me off and all this traffic and everything. And he's interviewing me while I'm trying to drive. And I had a trainee in the back. And he went with me to deliver a load of coffee that was downtown St. Louis. And simple things like getting out of the truck, he had to do 2 or 3 times. Checking into the receiver, he had to, like, you know, the guy at the counter was like, who the hell is this guy with this big camera, right? And then, you know, we had to slide to tandems. He had to, like, show that kind of thing. I'll get to that. Nailed it. And then like, he wanted to get footage of me closing the doors in the trailer with him in the trailer, and then without, you know, and then like, he got footage of me playing my music on my iPod and like all this stuff. And then he interviewed us, me and the trainee, over at the Flying J there in 17A, exit 17A off 255, and it was cool. And then I didn't hear anything for a month, or months actually, and I was contacting my other friends. They had done the same thing. And so finally I got in contact with the producers of the show, and they said, well, you're one of the finalists, but we're still trying to find a network to buy it. And these were the same people that did that, what show that what's his face from Star Trek? It was the same network that he was on, but the show ended up being viewed on the Weather Channel. Nailed it. It was a trucking reality show, and Brenda, Trucker 47, she was on there, and then these 2 flatbedder guys. One was heavy haul, one was just general flatbed. And after watching the show, I was glad I wasn't a part of it. And I've talked at length with Eskimo Sean about the Ice Road Truckers and what he knows of that. And a trucking reality show is not the thing that you want to be on. You know, I've talked to a couple of guys that were on Trick My Truck, you know, because that was filmed in Joplin. I know a guy that was on the crew, and you have to put a spin. People don't think we're interesting enough unless you put a spin on things. And the YouTube drama is a great spin on things. I've often thought that this would make a great reality TV show if you put in all these guys. But these are personal lives that they're dealing with, and I don't think that they would enjoy it after a while. I mean, look at all the negative comments and hate that they get on each of their channels. That would be multiplied. I mean, look at Lisa Kelly. You got people that that hate her, and there are people that just adore her, and because she's in the public eye. I think I know why James was calling me. He says, make money hauling fuel. James actually got off the road. He was a lease operator. He got off the road, and he's doing well making it hauling fuel. So sometimes there are good ways to come off the road, and there are bad ways to get off the road. You know, if you look at Matt Esso's dad, you know, he's driving a day cab, I think, and you know, why couldn't Matt find something local? You know, there are good paying local jobs and there are bad paying local jobs. So James says he loves me. I love you too, James. Jeffrey Likes in the house. Wait, what did I miss, Norlord? You missed everything and nothing. You missed me getting way behind on my comments. McGee Films is going to bed. Hey, McGee Films is another Snyder guy. He's a new IC. He's another one to follow. Sorry, I forgot about you, McGee Films. Sounds like Live PD, and you're the one in the handcuffs. Battleborn says, I just feel old. There wasn't a YouTube when I got my CDL. Groundhog's in the house. Daniel says, we all need to ask for home time at Pale Rider TV Home so we can cook us some home-cooked steak and chicken with some rice and beans, baked potatoes, tortillas. So Daniel's obviously got food on the mind. Jeff says, go to work. What are you doing? I am, dude, I drove 600 miles today. How many miles I drive today?
You had 1 hour and 25 minutes of
okay, so I didn't drive 600, I drove 532. But still, that's working, right? And then tomorrow I'll drive another 500 something. And I'll have to go to Dallas. So Big Rich says, Jeffrey, you need to go live so I can pay my dues. You missed hashtag rotten avocado. So yeah, Steve Berger and I got this thing going on, right? We're Team Citrus. Because we're the brightest colored damn trucks in the fleet. And pulling orange trailers, we look like a big fruit bowl, like citrus, right? However, we want to include TK, and we're trying to find a fruit that's black, you know, because he's got a black truck. But, you know, the three of us have 680s, and they're all X-Prime trucks, you know, and, you know, so we're like, Team Citrus, go. And the only thing that we were able to come up with for TK's truck is rotten avocado. He's probably watching this going, what are you guys talking about? Kevin says, I had a nice load of chicken that was so hot they opened it up just to receive me this morning because the shipper was an idiot, or we're idiots, LOL. Rotten bananas are black. There you go, James. James got it. Steve Berger, that's it. Rotten banana. Oh man, is olive a fruit? Actually, it is. It's not really a citrus fruit, so we'd have to. And we didn't think Fruit Bowl would be a good name for the team. Steve Berger says the Lone Star is the cornerstone of my financial death. See, Berger and I were talking earlier, and yeah, we like to use that phrase. The keystone is cornerstone to your financial success. And then, you know, and then we were talking about Texas, because I was going to Texas. And he says I might go to Texas, but then he never does. And then he said the Lone Star is the cornerstone of his financial death. So it's all kind of funny if you think about it. All day today through VA, PA, and Ohio, I've been looking at placard holders on Snyder trailers. Yeah, you know, you commented on my video about how long as they're not upside down or ripped up or whatever. And, you know, that's another one of those gray areas. Landstar, like, I remember there was a Landstar driver, I'm not going to mention who it was, but he had his own trailer, and Landstar kind of got onto him because his placard holders, which he never used, were off kilter. And if you get a DOT officer that wants to, because if you have like part of the placard missing, part of it half blown off, or part of it covered, or if it's too close to text on the trailer, all kinds of these different rules, they may not be able to fine you for that, but that's a way of them saying, hey, we're going to check out the rest of you. So it was funny to me because, Landstar was close to losing their ability to haul hazmat because they had so many violations. So they were tripping on everything. And I know that, like, if you showed up at an Indy terminal, they give you, like, loads of clear tape. And they gave you these clear placard holders. And you had to call to make sure you had the right placards. Dan says, some laws seem loose enough that it's left up to how the officer interprets it. Just hope you can catch them on a good day. Right, Dan. And that's the thing, Dan. You might know this. Placards have to be a certain height. They have to be a certain height on rail containers, on shipping containers. And they got to be on there just right. So, and placard holders are kind of important because anybody who's ever tried to peel a placard off a trailer in the wintertime, you know what that turns out like. I found that out the hard way. If you pick up a load, say in Atlanta, okay, and then you end up in, say, Cleveland, Ohio, where it might be 25 degrees, and you stuck the placard on the trailer with its own adhesive, guess what? It ain't coming off. Not in one piece. In the summertime, you can rip the sucker off. So the placard holders kind of become important. Steve's come up with a new one. The Hoosier State is the boulder to financial stability. I will agree with you on that one. Unless you're buying a truck there, right, Steve? Kevin and Ollie says 192. Awesome. Thanks for letting me ask and not get me out of shape, Snore. 8 more. Dale that says walk to a truck stop and the teacher says Team Fruit Bowl would not go good. Jeffrey's taking a load to Indiana Monday. Trucker Steve, you may have passed me and didn't know it. Steve's all secretive about his truck. Jeff says I will meet you in Indiana. Snore Lord Gods. Well, I was just in Indiana today. And now I'm not. And then you're going to be there. See, I think Jeff's purposely avoiding me. Heat gun and a razor blade. Right, Bandit. That's what it takes to get one off. And still, it comes out in these little slivers. Godfather Steve Berger said he will be in Indiana on Wednesday. So, anybody else got any questions, comments, or concerns, as my kids will say? Big Rich to be in Minnesota Wednesday or Thursday to pick up my trailer. Big Rich is he's got going on. So, everybody's talking back and forth with Jenny. So, I figured I'd do one of these Saturday Night Lives. I like doing these. And I know that there be a topic of discussion. And, I wish Ike all the best. And, I hope everything turns out for him. I really do. When is our album getting recorded? Well, Steve, if you don't ever come to Missouri, how can it be done? I got a studio. I have recording devices. I have instruments. I have everything you need to record an album. But yet, well, you haven't come up with a clever slogan for Missouri. So, Kevin says you don't feel like you do good live. Kevin, your live feeds are okay. I think part of the problem when you have a new channel is when you go live, you know, there might be 8 or 9 people in there, and you know, that's how Periscope is, and sometimes it gets kind of, you're not getting as much interaction. To be honest with you guys, I had no idea that my live videos would have this much interaction. You know, and remember, I used to make fun of the people that had hour-long, you know, live feeds, and here I am. I've become my own parody. I've sneezed on camera. I've gotten up on camera. I've switched hats on camera. I've told you meaningless stories on camera. I have become my own parody, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Okay, all right, Steve says, the show me state is the window to my musical expression. Kevin says he needs some metal saxophone. That's a, well, aren't saxophones made out of brass? They're made out of metal, Kevin. James says, hit like for Steve, a.k.a. Snorlord. James and I go way back. James and I went to high school together. Oh, man. I might have children watching this, James, so I'm not going to read that out loud. But I wrote a song just for James, and he enjoys it. Do you still have that as your ringtone there, James? You're one of the worst ones now. I know, Sun Chaser, I know. Love the YouTube parody. Yeah. You know what's funny is there were some people that thought that was a real live video. I try not to be my own parody, but it just happens. So I thought I'd mix it up today because, you know, Pale Rider and I, we knew we'd be in the same area, so I got to Brazil and called him up and said, hey, where are you at? Oh, I'm almost to Brazil too. Because remember, we can't talk and drive at the same time here at the Big Orange. So I thought, hey, I'll make you some of this good coffee and we'll go live. I said, how about you sit in my chair and have the phone where I normally have and you go live? Of course, Pale Rider did his whole thing. And what we should have done is I should have gotten his truck and did a live feed on his phone with me at the helm. That would have been funny. Frank says the cookies video I think is the best. You know, I'm not at that travel center in Kansas, but I'm at the one before it. And I don't think they bother anybody here because, like, there was like 3 state troopers eating McDonald's here. So, you make coffee on camera? Yeah, man. Battleborn, I made coffee on camera a couple of times. Nailed it. Please tell. Tell you what. Run to the hills on a sax sucks to play. Just saying. Been 20 years since I tried, but I remember very well. Team Fruit Bowl needs more band members. Pale Rider, Angry Trucker, and Angry Trucker would have been great also. Nailed it. I keep trying to get Pale Rider to do the Angry Trucker again, but he won't do it. He's retired that he's retired that character. And I think your comment was taken away. But yeah, those you guys read James DeJong's comment here about the song I wrote. It was a comment that he always said to me whenever he was mad. He's like, this person can, you know, what that says, okay? Those of you watching the recorded version, you're like, whoa, what are you talking about? But I won't say it because, you know, I got kids that watch this. So I told him for Christmas I would write him a song with that saying. And I wrote it for him, gave it to him on CD. He downloaded it onto his phone, and it was a hit. And it would be a hit if I wanted to release it, I think. It's only like 1.5 minutes long, but I think it does the trick. It's straight to the point. It's got a message to it, and it makes James smile every time he hears it. Team bowl of fruits sounds better. Editing our video from this morning. Yeah, Pale Rider took some video footage of me. Can you believe that? I got some footage of him on my GoPro. James needs to post it somewhere R-rated. I have a version of it on my laptop. Which I don't have a CD burner on my laptop, nor do I have blank CDRs, but maybe I'll upload it to my old channel. Like, just as a, like, I'll just have a picture. James is alright. I already know what picture to use. So, Larry Fisher, what did you say that your message was rejected? Hey, Stu, check this out. Stuart. Okay, check it out. Hold on. Talk about purity again. Hold on. Hold on, Stu. Somewhere in this truck. Okay. Check it out, Stu. Look at that. Look at that. Garlic. I got garlic in the truck, Stu. I got minced garlic, too. And, I do have olive oil, but it's in Pam form. And I couldn't find it. Say it like this. Eat a bowl of... No. Maybe Angry Trucker needs to do a video with the Sandman. There you go. Hey, everybody tell Steve Berger he needs to do more Sandman videos for his own channel. He needs to go live more. I think Steve Berger could be a very colorful live person. Big Rich says, I'm going to make videos of my reactions to four-wheelers doing stupid mess. I'll make it age restricted because it gets graphic. Larry Fisher says, Black Truck, Bad Apple Express. That might work. Yukon, what's up? What's up, my friend? Garlic, yeah. Always keep garlic, yep. Pam. Yeah, it's olive oil spray. Yeah, Kevin and Ollie does really good cooking videos, too. There's one where his dog was, oh, what was your dog's name for that video? There was like role-playing going on. Frank says, how I came across Jeffrey Like was me researching cooking videos. It all start, if all start doing cooking vids, the food channel might pick up a creative show. Frank, that actually happened. I believe Tex Crowley was on, like, there was like a trucker, like they had the, you know, Tex Crowley can, you know, he told me about it. I think him and Big Cat Trucker, they were going around the country in their trucks trying out different foods and giving their reviews of it. It never aired. I don't know if they couldn't get a network to sign off on it or what. But because of that, they can't use any of the footage because they don't have any of the rights to it. That's the other thing. Reality shows, you don't have any rights to any of it. Berger says my sponsor would pull their funding if I bring out the Sandman. Neil that says, yes, he does. Sandman picking fruit in the desert. Guido, yeah. Kevin and Ollie. Ollie was playing Guido. Fareed, what's up? Kevin says, I do a Food Network cooking clip in a second. Just give me some time in a Publix. Super chat to Campbell funding. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thanks for this awesome, awesome video. James, I will call you after the video is done, sir. And, thanks for watching. Saturday nights are always great. I always love doing these. And, you know, here's the thing, guys. Think about what kind of energy you're putting out there. I'm a firm believer that, you know, the laws of attraction work. And if you're putting out good energy, then good things will happen to you. If you're putting out bad energy, bad things will happen to you. That's just how it is. I wish Ike Stevens the best. And anybody else at Travel Loco, I hope that things are going well. and that you're not dealing with some of the stuff that some of the other guys are dealing with. And you know, we all have our place on this earth, and you know, we do what we can. So guys, with that being said, be good to each other, be safe, respect yourselves, and respect others. So with that being said, see ya.